But definitely the eyeglasses I had to have to see the Hebrew in the dictionary here. But from the text itself, I can more or less make it out. In fact, what I'm going to do now is shut up a little bit and have you guys read, if you don't mind. I'm looking at page, I see the page numbers, page 80, I guess it is. You'll notice underneath all the disciplines, let's use that phrase, there is a little a dialogue. What are you studying? Ma Talmud, etc. All right, let me make several observations. Edna Coffin is a woman. You have to take my word for it. So you would say to yourself, in this day and age, why does Mrs. Edna Coffin, they basically use the masculine, Ma Atalomed. Why not say Ma Atlomedet? I don't know what's going on now in Israel. I do know I was part of a very, very heated vikuach. Let's get down that phrase. Every time I'm going to use some English with you, why not use the Hebrew as well? The word vikuach. Vikuach means argument. Vikuach is a disputation. Vikuach means you're okay, I'm okay, we're all okay, so why are we arguing? There's no so-called resolution to a vikuach. That's my opinion. Others will tell it differently, but that word you should know. The word is vikuach. Why is it interesting? Well, number one, it's got dots all over the place. The vowel letter has a chirik. The chirik is a short vowel. The dagesh in that kav is a strong dagesh. Beggar kefet letters can either have a light dot or a strong dot. If a beggar kefet follows a short vowel, chances are this is dagesh chazak. So again, don't forget a little elementary word right now. CVC is the first syllable. Second syllable is CV with the long short. And the third syllable, the second syllable is CVC with the stolen patach underneath that het. Do not confuse that patach as a legitimate vowel. It's a glide, that's all it is. And so you treat it as if it never were there, and it'll be CVC. But it's there, and the reason is, last letter ayin, last letter het, preceded by a frontal vowel, most probably will have the stolen patach under the last letter but pronounced before. A vikuach is a disputation. Your professor is a very active member of the Guna Professorim, of the National Association of Professors of Hebrew. I have been their president at one time. I still write their Igeret, which is their newsletter, which we talked about the other day, and try to show you the Arabic of that word and stuff of that nature. It's now a bulletin. And I promise to send you the link. I'll do it one day soon, God willing, and you'll be able to see the website of NAPH, and you'll see a professor's writings of editorials, etc. Anyway, a couple of years ago, there was a disputation of changing the name of Iguna Professorim. The word professorim sounds like a plural. It is professor and professorim, masculine plural. But also the masculine plural is used if the plural is both male and female. Then all of a sudden, a few years ago, an argument happened. What about the female being distinguished from the male? I then said in the little meeting that we had of the leaders of NAPH, what's the big deal? Hebrew plural is masculine is used for both male and female. That's when I was told, well, Hebrew's got to be like other languages now and make a distinction between male and female, even though in history, the masculine plural is both male and female. That caught me by surprise, but these are Israelis who are speaking. I'm a second to that in the sense of language of Hebrew and birth of Hebrew, whatever. So they came up with the phrase professorim dot professoriot. Instead of making one syllable at the end for both male and female, they have both the male and they have also the female alongside each other. So Edna Coffin is part of the generation that does not know that yet. That's why she says Ma Talomed rather than Ma Atlomedet alongside of Ma Talomed. But normally back in the day when you gave a phrase, you always use the masculine singular form and then alternated with the feminine. That's the way she has it. That's the way I'm familiar with it. Today it's completely different, I am sure, but we're using a classic book from the 1980s, I guess, whenever it was first put together. It's a good book, that's why I like to use it. Anyway, with that said, Baruch, I want you to read the sentence number 1. I want you to give the answer as well. And then we'll make corrections. Go ahead.
יוסף, מה אתה לומד? אני לומד ולגויה.
All right, not bad. Look up now at the vocalized Hebrew words. See if you can find that word that is unvocalized in vocalization.
או ביולוגיה.
Okay, biologia. Okay, that's another reason why Edna should have been more careful. Not that she wasn't, but somebody should have watched those the vocalization. There's a mechirit that should be underneath that gimel in biologia, which means that the yud in biologia would have a dagesh hazak. I'm not concerned now about syllabication. I'm concerned about reading that word. Here comes Baruch. He's reading well with a screaming voice, but that biologia all of a sudden halted him a little bit, and he could not read it because the vocalization is not there. Okay, Yosef, Matalomed, Anilomed, Biologia. Take the next one, Baruch.
רינה, מה את לומדת? אני לומדת היסטוריה.
All right, stop it right there. I'm glad you did what you did. Rina, ma'ad lomedet. That would be a typical error of any Israeli instructor who does not teach syllabication and vocalization the way Professor Abe Garber does on with that stuff. Look at that word, lomedet. Notice how I'm pronouncing it, and why am I hitting the sego of second syllable and not the last one? You'll notice you'll have a CV for the first syllable, not an issue. The second one is the men with a sego under it, a CV. The sego is a short vowel, open syllable, irregular, and so needs to be accented. The last syllable, CVC, was a short vowel closed, it's regular. The word is lomedet, not lomedet. Lomedet. Israelis will not have a problem. They speak that way, so that's how they know how to say lomedet. But for them to vocalize and to not have the reason to be, for vocalization, that I don't think they have it their ability. And let me make that point again. They learn this stuff somewhat in high school. Then they take what's called a book-word examination. Get down that phrase, a book-word exam. Notice how I'm saying it, book-word. It's bet gimel. The bet has a kamatz under it. The word is CVC, the first syllable. Second syllable, CVC. When you have a long vowel, part of a closed syllable, it is irregular. It demands the accent. The accent, therefore, falls on the second of the two syllables. The first syllable has a kamatz in a closed situation. Is this a medial kamatz? If it's a medial kamatz closed, it has to be accented. A kamatz in a closed syllable, unaccented, is a short kamatz. Kamatz katan. The word is bok root. Bok, not bok. Bok root. You guys don't know New York. Jeremiah does. In New York State, they still give what's called Regents examination. You know what that means? You can't go to any college, it's easy Regents. Yeah. And whatever, mathematics, biology. And I went to yeshiva, so basically the Regents exam, actually my last years were at public high school, was in Hebrew. Hebrew was not a problem for anybody. But Hebrew was a Regents examination for language. It was our equivalent of a book word. Still have Regents. Regents was notorious in New York. And in Israel, once you finish your book word, you then go a year on vacation and come back for your Israeli IDF responsibility or whatever. That's the last time you really learn grammar. And they taught it to you, to my understanding, in the high schools in Israel, somewhat. Anyway, Israeli grammar is a little different than what I teach you. I teach you traditional Hebrew grammar here. All right, meanwhile, you got that down. Ani lomedet historia, and the other one is biologia. And they only take up sentences 3 and 4.
מה דוד לומד? הוא לומד כימי. Oh, it's pay?
Lomed what?
There's a kaf.
I know it's a kaf.
כימיה. כימיה.
Are you saying kimia?
I don't know how to read it without the nekudot.
Now let the eyes go up to the vocalized Hebrew. Find the word chemistry. Do you see a dagation, that kaf?
Yes.
Oh, for me it looks like a fade.
What?
It looks like a fade.
A fade?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. I'm blind without glasses. How can you be blind?
If you had glasses, you'd see what I mean. It looks like a fade. It doesn't look like a cuff.
Are you reading it as femia?
Yes.
Okay. Give it as a kaf. Is there a dagation, that kaf?
Yes.
Okay.
If it's a cuff, yes.
All right, let me now tell you the problem. The dagation akav, I suspect, is so if I went to old Ben Yehuda here, but there's also the following. The word kimia is kimia. Get down the alternate way of saying it. I'm not arguing it's not kimia. I am going to tell you, I've heard more than once from all kinds of sources that the word is kimia. Kimia.
With a head?
No, with the chaf, with the chaf, not a cuff.
Oh, okay, huh.
The
Again,
chaf, yeah, without the dot inside.
Let's just get it written out first. The word itself is not Hebrew, by that I mean from within the language or traditions of Hebrew, from Semitic tongues, whatever. This word is a thoroughly borrowed word from Western cultures, whatever. And with that said, you can play with it. Everybody seems to have the right vocalization. The question is there a dagation? And so chemistry, when you say chemistry, you go CH, so it should be kimia. However, CH by itself can also have the sound of H, as in which. You don't say which, you say which. And so it does not shock me to be told that the word kimia, rather than kimia, is the proper Hebrew pronunciation for chemistry. So have it either way. If there's a dot in your text here, then either Coffin's Hebrew, vocalizer makes a mistake and puts a dot in there because of Becca Kefler begins the word, put a dot in there.
So kimia.
On Tuesday, I'll be able to have my glasses. I'll look at what this dictionary has, and Ben Yehuda's dictionary will be sufficient for the final verdict on it. But to see that letter as a fade is interesting. I cannot tell because my version is impaired right now.
No, just on the top.
Yeah.
When you read
Okay,
it.
I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. Okay, anyway, get back to what you just read.
Okay.
Okay, my David Lomed will mean either kimia or kimia.
Yeah.
Continue, Eli, Tamshich.
Ma ראייה.
Okay, her name is Raya.
ראייה.
Okay,
מה ראייה לומדת? ראייה לומדת פילוסופיה.
that's right. Philosophia is philosophy. Now, is a pay there without a dagesh?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not philosophia.
Yeah. It's
Again,
philosophy.
following Hebrew grammar, a beggar careful letter beginning a word should therefore be plosive, but these are borrowed words, and so the rules of Hebrew grammar are not followed exactly the same. All right, how about your attempt now, Jeremiah? Go.
Number 5, right?
Yeah, 5.
Melondim, is that the name of it? No?
All right, sentence number 5.
Yeah.
Ma is the first word.
Ma, okay, ma. Malondim,
Well, before you get to Lomdim, there's a word before it. If you have the verb to study, who does study? Are they teachers or are they students?
students.
Okay, the Hebrew word for students is found there. Could you try to make any sense to read it?
Just read from the beginning.
He loved it, no?
Okay, we'll help you with that word.
Okay.
Baruch, help him to read that word.
Okay, מה הסטודנטים לומדים?
Okay, that's it. Student team.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, that's all right, we'll go slowly. My student team, what are the students in Lovadim studying?
Student team, okay. Then it would be, so the answer is it hen? Hen?
Yeah.
That's right, Haim.
Hen, student team?
Lovadim.
Him, Lomedim, Mathematica?
That's
it?
right, you
Oh,
got it, you got it, you got it,
Mathematica.
good. Mathematica. Haim Lovadim Mathematica.
Hem, okay.
Let me say something about mathematics. I don't know if it's still done today. I will tell you the following. My mind just goes back to when I was a child practically. In Israel, when you study vowels, the chamatz looks like this. Excuse me, looks like this. In Israeli school systems, when they study mathematics, they make a minus, they make a multiplication, they do not make a plus. They go like this.
Because it makes a cross?
Yirmiyahu, are you looking? They'll make all kinds of signs in mathematics, but the plus sign is just too graphic, too dramatic, too full of harsh mirrors. It looks like a class. Yirmiyahu, you had no problem with that? So the Israeli student back in the day made them put the plus sign like this, like a comments. And I ain't talking about Jewish kids now. It's talking about Arab kids, Muslim kids, Christian kids. It's the only country in the world at one time, I don't know if they still do this, they never made a plus sign. Somebody got it in their mind, you can't do that.
What about they got division? Is it the same?
Division means, no, that's okay, you can make a division.
Yeah.
And let me now get very critical about language. I began this 2-hour period with Jaime Town, with Jesse Jackson. You Jews are called kikes. You know what a kike is? A kike is the Yiddish word keyhole, which means a circle.
Hey,
Let me get into this. You don't know for these things I do. A circle in Yiddish is a keichel. When Jews came in the 1880 period, the Irish guards would say to the Jew from Poland somewhere, "Mak a keichel." They always told him to make a cross, make an X. But an X, any way you make an X, looks like a cross. We don't make an X. So the word type comes from the Yiddish word circle. And the derogatory term for Jews today that is still used is that word type. All derogatory terms are very innocent. It's how you use them that makes the term harsh. You're getting a lesson this hour, that's for sure.
but Jesse Jackson used that term Town when he was gonna go fundraise in a Jewish community, and they got that recording when he was.
Mark, I can't hear you.
That response, you mentioned Jesse Jackson in Town.
Yes.
He made a reference to Town when he was at a dinner, they caught him on a mic, saying that he was gonna go fundraise in a Jewish neighborhood.
Yeah. No, I understand. You apologize profusely afterwards, but once you say something, it doesn't just get dismissed that easily. Anyway, but people are accused of this, and people have to deal with it, I guess. All right, people, let me get back to my Hebrew before I dismiss you. Let's just finish this up right now. Okay, so back to you, Jeremiah. You have the students, Hey Lodim, Mathematica. Take the last sentence now.
Is it student team? No?
Okay. What you're doing is you're skipping words. The first word is ma, first of all,
Wow,
what?
where's mom? Okay.
And then you have the word for student in the feminine. Ha studentiot.
T-O, okay, yeah.
And then continue with the last word.
Is the last word is what?
Last word
Is lomidot.
Lomidot.
Okay, it's time for you to read. Okay. Ma studentiot lomidot, and finally give us the answer.
Is that, I said that Hain? Hain.
Feminine.
Yeah.
Hain, okay.
The word is hain.
Hain.
Hain is they are feminine.
Okay, so Hain, we say Lomdin?
Look closely.
Lomidot. Okay.
Lomidot.
Yes, okay. Hain, Lomidot, and gosh, how do you say that, word, psychology?
Look up at the list.
Psychology, how you say,
Psychologia.
Look, there's the word
Psychology.
psychology.
It's
I
hard,
see
it's
it,
hard.
but I didn't-
Sound it out word by word, it's easier that way. Like if you remember what each of the vowels are, then just sound it out word by word.
Look for the word psychology,
Yeah,
because you're trying to make out the Hebrew.
yeah. It was Piso.
Okay, we'll have to help you. All right, Baruch, you want to read that word?
Okay, it looks like, psychologia.
That's right, psychologia.
Pesi.
All right, what Baruch is doing is probably the way you should do it. You read it slowly and then you say it fast.
Yeah.
Psychologia. All right, people, as I keep my word, I'll speak to you right now. Tuesday, I hope to have several sets of glasses with me. I don't have
I'll be here as well.
And we'll continue. Be well, let's hope things go well. The rains have stopped, Baruch, we said back to back.
Oh, no, they don't rain again.